This is Saley Davis from Multiverse Masters, and I'm going to show prison reform maze or development and the Multiverse Masters main island. So I'm starting off on Marion Island, owned by Dr. Eleanor O'Connor from Empire State College. And so let me go ahead and go to the Multiverse Masters Island now. You just type in multi and then find. You'll see Multiverse Masters. And we can teleport there. So this is the landing area. It takes a few moments to load. Now we're in the direction of the classroom area, which is a restricted area. So my avatar can cross over. And if you click on it, you'll see the borders pop up. And it will tell you that it's a restricted area for room use. Now this area has band lines. Cross into this area. However, I did discover that if you attempt to, it will actually glitch your avatar. So your avatar just blindly keeps going in one direction across the whole screen. The fix for that is to actually teleport off the island completely onto another Marion island and then teleport back. So to prevent accidental crossing of the barrier, I actually put up warning signs. I actually have two types of signs. One, of course, is this caution, do not enter. Now I made that myself just using a texture and a rectangular block. And then as you can see along the whole edge on the other side, I also put in a barrier on my welcome information here. I also put a warning here that in the testing of it, it will glitch your avatar. So over here is the sandbox, also with a and some signifiers of the sandbags and the sandcastle to let you know that if you cross that bridge, you go to the sandbox. And of course, those sandbox signs are also across the whole island sandbox area. In this direction is the educators and parents area for resources and meetings. Of course, it's still being developed. And you also have this really neat mailbox here where people can drop note cards and leave me mail. That was my daughter's sneeze. She is now immortalized. Her sneeze is now immortalized. And we cross the bridge. And in the educators and parents section, we have a lot of resources and educational features that help teach people. We have a 16-cell animation script example. This is constantly being updated with credits, and that basically explains all of the various items that's being used to give proper credit. So a few more things here. So I did, now this little avatar over here, I actually took open source avatars apart and built this one out of other parts. And so, you know, she talks to you. She has some scripting about how reading is important. And that's one good thing about the virtual world is there can be a lot of reading involved, which will encourage you. This television I built myself. Of course, the image of the TV was free images online. Now here gives you a note card that actually lets you know of the video that will show you how this was built so that you can build your own and put your own web page into it. Some OpenSim resources. This is a quiz that was taken from the Rainforest Research OR. So these are some other open source aspects and edited aspects from the Rainforest Research OR. This is just a simple checkers game that I built, and it has the information aspect right here that you can click on and get the note card that tells you about it, tells you how to play. It's really simple by allowing permissions for people to move the checker pieces. they can play checkers with another person. And there's the avatar area. Now in here is a very simple light, which is just quickly built using the OpenSim itself. See the light change to blue, to white, to green. So I did put the glow so you could tell where the light source was coming from, which is the bottom aspect of it. You can change the light color. There's a lot to discover in that area for people interested in learning how to build things and learning how they can use those resources for educational purposes. All right, now we just crossed over the introductory prim, which is in the ground. And so it says, welcome to the prison reform maze. Thank you for your interest in the deputy position. The sheriff is away on business, official business, but feel free to read the job duties posted on the jail door. Explore the entry grounds and talk to some of the staff until the sheriff returns. So this sets the storyline of this educational OR. Now I also create a flexible object. Instead of doing a flag, I did a piece of paper. And the piece of paper is the deputy's job responsibilities. So if you see here, let me see if I move around, if you can see it. Yeah, there we go. You can see it moving. And so how to do that is through, again, features, the flexible path. And you can increase the shape. Now it moves more. And I do want to attract attention to it. So that's good. Try that. Now, these you can actually read. It says, do not sit in the sheriff's chair, never leave a loaded gun laying around. If you get locked in a cell, find your own way out. And let me select face because it's only on the front. And you have to put in the textured image upside down. So you just take a picture of whatever words you want on here. You flip the picture upside down, your card pops up. So I wanted to make sure that everything in this OR was source. Some things that I'm experimenting with won't be included in the final OR, but this is an open source door that I purchased for basically 30 cents through the Kitely market. So you open. Now in here again, I have a flexible paper, and you can read it. Now, originally, there was a piece of paper in this item. This item is from Arcadia Asylum, all these items, and that was a glitch. I've got to check on that. Sometimes it glitches and doesn't actually show you. I've got to adjust the note card for that. So Arcadia Asylum, you can click on these and they have open source sounds that was included. The important thing that I want to mention here is this was all one sheet. I unlinked it and took it apart, and I'm glad I did because these had different words printed on it, and it had different screen flowing on it. So I redid the screen as well. Now, you could not originally read the words. So what I had to do on this screen is I took a screenshot of it to freeze the image. And I actually discovered that sometimes when you pick up free items from other areas, they weren't originally designed for youth. And so when I examined these closely, I found that the writing in them and the scroll screen, even though you couldn't read the words unless you stopped it, youth are very inquisitive. So if they see something scrolling across the screen, they might take a screenshot just to stop that and to look closely at it. There was an adult conversation that would be inappropriate for youth in these items. And so you need to be very careful looking at the textures when you're reusing items and examining them. And so I actually took it apart and redid these screens. And of course, this one right here says, "I am the maze master, you will all pay." And it's a rolling script. So if you open, that's from the base of it. So if you edit this and see, again, this is one you have to put on its side in the image texture. And if you look in content, it has the animation smooth, scripting. Okay. There's a lot of little secrets in here I'm not going to show on this video because it's fun to explore. So you walk through this door. Now, that shows you being able to walk through an object. Now, it appeared that I just walked through an empty space. That's because of the transparency. When you turn around, there's no empty space there. There's actually a wall. This wall has the object as a phantom. Now, I can't walk back through that space because that door just closed behind me, and the door is not phantom. How I got that was by selecting a face and changing one side of the face to being transparent and the other side to being having a texture. So you see this side texture is brick. If we were to go back and click on the other side, we would see that the texture was switched to transparent. So that's how you can create interesting effects of layering. Now, this is going to be the maze area, and this is my example. Now, I linked this together, but I will be unlinking these and showing you. Basically, there'll be different walls, different cells. Now, this cell, you can, the cell bars, you'll be able to walk through. And some of them, when you walk through them, and again, I have another side to this where it's transparent. You walk through it, and then you can't see the cell bars anymore. Some of these will be programmed to teleport you. Others will allow you to walk through into the next cell. It's basically going to be a fun way of having a question that you're asked. So on one wall, and because this is transparent, most likely it will be like if you walked through the cell, you'd look behind and you'd have a question put right here. And it would say, you know, here's your question. You've got two answers to choose from, answer A or answer B. If it's answer A, walk through this door. If it's answer B, walk through the other door. If you get it wrong, when you walk through the door, I'll have a collision teleport that will teleport you elsewhere. If you're correct, then you can continue through the maze. Now, in the exploring features, of course, eventually I want to build my own avatars, like I did with the girl, but like this gentleman over here, I actually collected him. And if they don't have clear licensing, then eventually I want to have all of my own avatars that I find and have clear licensing too. So here's Jim Jackson is the creator. I put that up here as well, because one thing I found is when I download and upload to my home grid using Dreamworld, sometimes it rewrites who the creator is. So I don't want to lose track of who the creator is, but also to make sure that this didn't happen before and Jim Jackson isn't actually the creator, I really want to research these or only use ones that actually have the note cards and clear ownership of where this came from and whether or not it's open source. And of course, in these buildings over here, you will have different resources and different lessons. From the rainforest research, I did find these fantastic skins. Eventually, I want all G-rated skins. So these skins are G-rated. If I were to remove all of the items off my avatar she would still be covered. All right, so I'm going to take off her jacket. And as you can see, she's only wearing a jacket, boots, and pants. Now, if you do not have a G-rated avatar, this will show nudity in many adult-built avatars because they're not built for children. So I have just removed all of her clothes. Here we go. She still has boots on. And as you can see, she's still dressed. And usually these are shorts, but I think because I had pants on, that they turned it into the black pants. So her avatar is actually designed with clothes on underneath. Okay, so that's my quick tour of the prison reform maze. There's a lot of little other secrets that you can interact with, and things may change depending upon licensing. And I hope you enjoyed this brief tour.